Oh, Tim exists.
Tim exists?
Not in real life, but in the Monster Hunter non-flesh space.
I mean, I would assume that means he and Ellen are done doing things.
Expecting like he would be in Discord with him and we would do something. Think I am friend of Owen?
Yeah, I think we are friends of Ellen. Ooh, Arla.
To re-upload a Monster Hunter video because Tim was like, hey, Owen did say a slur. So just in case, you should probably like beep this. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. So I did that this morning. Talking about how Carlos McSpicy gets censored.
Oh, yeah.
He accepted the quest. Roy.
Shit, I was trying to say dick my sword. It looked like I said fuck my sword.
Close enough.
I'm sure I've done this quest before because it's the Dual Blades one.
Ah.
Oh.
Ah. Well, hello.
I like left Owen on accident.
Ah.
He will be here very briefly.
Very briefly.
I mean, very shortly.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, hey. Oh, hi.
Welcome, Daddy, and are now in Gunt.
Correct. Yeah, sorry. I left like in the middle of talking to you. I didn't realize that clicking it would send me away.
Yeah, you're okay. I figured you were just getting ready to hop over anyway.
How was the
Okay.
Italian Raceway?
It was Luigi canola oil. It went pretty well.
It went really well. Yeah.
Owen says we can do this mission.
Okay.
Yeah, if you guys just want to do it, and I'll hang out while you take care of it, because my person will die immediately.
Your person will legally not be allowed.
Yeah, it'll just unregister me from like Switch Live.
What do you think you can handle this shit? Are you kidding me?
Heck yeah, fuck you. Here's your $20 back, you nerd.
Well, at least they refunded you.
Yeah, at least they gave me a refund. Nintendo's cool about that.
Can't even switch back to my kitty cat.
I have butterfly umbrella woman again.
I can go twice as high.
That's what?
Said the word butterfly, I guess.
Hmm.
Seen an episode of Reading Rainbow.
How come you reference Reading Rainbow so often?
I don't know. Probably because twice
I
as
think
high.
I've heard the theme song before,
I
but
have heard the theme song before.
I could not recite it to you. That's other than Reading Rainbow.
Take a look.
Is that how
It's in a book. Reading Rainbow.
Oh, wait. Who's going, Rathian, or...
I'm headed towards the dinosaur.
Okay, I'm also going to Anjanath.
Tim was regaling Josh about the events that unfolded in the most recent Mario Party debacle.
Oh, all I remember is I won definitively and dominantly, and it was a test of skill.
Definitely had nothing to do with random number generation.
Nope.
Or level of drunkenness.
I maintain that that is not the
No,
case.
you do.
It's
Because
gonna be like a major blown call in baseball or something where people are just gonna be arguing about it for years afterwards.
Yeah.
like nowhere near the botched perfect game level, so who cares?
Not, I mean, certainly not.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't ruin the integrity of the event that was happening, but or did it?
I maintain that until like the last 5 turns, I was more drunk than Duncan.
I don't know about that.
I also don't know about that. You can't complete an entire Bowser minigame course while we all perish and say you're drunk.
I'm better at platformers than y'all. I don't know what you want me to say.
I'm a lot of platformers.
Probably all perish.
What'd you say?
Yes, while we all perished almost immediately.
Yeah, we did. Within like the first minute. Within the first like 10 seconds.
No, like Duncan made it to like the halfway point.
Don't think so.
At least one person made it to the halfway point with me.
Ever making it to a halfway point of any platforming anything.
But also we did that minigame like 16 times because Duncan landed on a Bowser space for every turn.
Also, I only completed that one once.
7 times.
Smirching my good name.
You never had a good one.
True, but you're still besmirching it.
I mean, like Chris is not good.
The double CR sound with my name sucks. It's a mouthful to say. Crick crick.
That's why you should just be Crantrungus.
I should change my full name to Crantrungus.
Yeah, your legal name.
And that's my real name.
Yeah, that's my real name.
This is weird. Okay.
Hey, I made it.
Reading Rainbow, reading Rainbow.
This is red line.
Sonic
No,
Heroes.
Sonic
Reading
Heroes.
Rainbow.
Oh my god. Okay.
Is
Sorry.
that
What's
the
happening?
Sonic?
No, that's Sonic Colors. I don't think anyone
Sorry.
liked Sonic Heroes, so that's not being.
Yeah, because it was the one that came out after Adventure 2 Battle, and it wasn't as good.
Yeah.
Because there weren't chows that I could eugenics.
Exactly.
Honestly, the fact that Sonic Team has never seen of chows is obscene.
There need to be more video game publishers that realize Gamers just want eugenics simulators.
Eugenics are fun. Eugenics is actually fun.
And that is absolutely 100% the reason that our generation owned that game. Was for
Chow Gardens.
Absolutely.
Chow Gardens, Pokemon, Fire Emblem Awakening, like...
Fire Emblem Awakening's a perfect one because they're actual humans.
Even better.
Tim is the most video games eugenicist I've ever met.
I haven't had the chance to do it in too long.
I need to gene splice people.
I mean, apparently you can do it in Monster Hunter Stories 2, which is very tempting.
That is true. You
Oh,
can,
really?
you
You
can
can, like, breed
eugenics the
monsters?
hell out of your monsters.
Yeah. You can literally, like... They have a thing literally called gene splicing, I think.
Yeah, you can like make your Lagombi do that attack Anjanath just did.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Yeah. You
Right,
fire. Right?
Is there any multiplayer to it?
There is, actually, yeah.
Oh, there is?
I don't know if it's fun, honestly, but... I've heard a lot of good things about it. I've told Chris a bunch of times, but like the frame rate on the demo was just so bad that it kind of put me off.
Maybe it's made for the new Switch.
Which doesn't exist.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Well, aren't they
it's
making
made
that,
for the
like,
PC,
newer
which is
version
where
of
it's
it?
also out.
They're making the OLED Switch, which has no discernible difference mechanically.
Okay, so it doesn't
yeah.
have any sort of processing power or anything?
No.
No! Oh, you mean the thing everyone wanted it to?
It would appear, based on like the legitimate reporting out of Bloomberg, the like prevailing, I guess, theory is that they are going to do that at some point, but because of the international microchip shortage, they could not at this time, so they just put out like a half measure.
Which is distinctly possible, and also just bad looking.
Yeah.
But Nintendo has never been great at not looking bad.
Absolutely
Yeah.
true. Boy, the games they make are fun, though.
I know.
Yes.
That's why I love them.
They also need to realize that once games are no longer at like the peak of their sell cycle, they can lower the price.
Correct. Like,
I can't believe people still have to pay $60 to buy Mario Kart. Like, it's insane.
You're right. But also, God, it's a fucking damn good Mario Kart. It's
I mean, it
probably
is,
just
but-
the best Mario Kart.
Like, people should just not have to buy it for the full amount when it's been out forever. And it's just a re-release of the same Mario Kart just from, you know, the Wii U.
Yeah, I have spent about like $140 total on that game since I bought the DLC when it came out on the Wii U.
right. Which is
Yeah.
also, that's right. Yeah, and I mean, like, I am a big proponent of Skyward Sword, and I really love it, but I am not paying $60 to play it again.
Yeah. It's
Like,
nuts.
I will
I-
probably be spending $60 to play it again. I just want to like get a paycheck before I do it.
Like, I'll put it on my, like, Christmas list or something, but I'm not putting forth the money to buy a game that I have owned twice. That's
Yeah.
not Xenoblade Chronicles.
Oh, you've already owned it twice?
Yeah, because they released it on the Wii U
Oh, I don't remember that happening, huh?
for, you know, $20.
But you can get your own Skyward Sword Joy-Cons.
I mean, it's cool.
Those
And the new
Joy-Cons
control
do
scheme
look really nice.
look fantastic. The new control scheme seems awesome. So.
Yeah,
And the
but
worst part is, if you buy the game and get those Joy-Cons, it is still cheaper than just buying Joy-Cons.
No, I mean, it doesn't just come with the Joy-Cons.
Oh, is it like a special edition that you have to buy?
I think they just sell them separate.
I think the
actually.
Joy-Cons are just sold separately, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like
There's still $80 Joy-Cons on top of a $60 10-year-old game.
Yeah.
But they did seem to do pretty much every quality of life thing I would have wanted.
Yes, I agree.
They also did lock one quality of life thing that I don't care about behind an amiibo paywall, but
Same, which is bad, and they've done similar things before. I guess with Samus Returns, they locked a ton of content behind like the 5 amiibos that came out around the time that game came out. I'm like, why? What? People have a hard time paying for Metroid games to begin with.
I know.
They're just like the peak example of how video games exist in a very weird boundary between art and corporation.
Yeah. Because I love Nintendo as a game developer, but not as a company.
Yeah. To be fair, it's not like I love any company as a company.
Man,
Yeah.
If you do, that's a little strange.
Companies are not deserving of affection.
if you love like a corporation, you are a strange person I do not want to know.
Yeah.
Who is probably trying to get in on some pyramid scheme or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I understand having brand loyalty if you like a brand.
Right.
Like if you like I understand loving a product because it's like useful to you and you really like it. But
Right. Or enjoyable or whatever.
right.
I love my Nintendo Switch.
Know people at the company that you like. That's okay to do also, but you'd be like, I love the company.
Yeah.
It's just
It's
weird.
some dystopian shit.
I was talking.
I mean, I guess I could see loving a company if you like, and they have been very good to you with your job or whatever. I could understand.
Yeah, but again, you love then your manager or, you know.
Right, and your job and all that.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Chris?
Weird.
Yeah, that was just odd. I was talking with my friend's boyfriend yesterday, and an architect for like small scale like restaurants and the sort. He's like, the first thing I did when I got my job was work with Speedway gas stations, and I was like, oh no, is that what this job is going to be? And like talking to them and how they're like, no, we are prepared to like transition to our business model to a clean energy one, yada yada yada, but also we're not going to do that until we're forced to.
Yeah.
Why would they?
Yeah.
They have no obligation to.
Yeah, I mean, your company, you're gonna do what's profitable.
Yeah,
From
and
hell
he's like-
or literal high water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he also said, or no, and then my friend Mitch, he said that he has a friend who, like, all through college and everything, his dream was to work for fucking Shell. His dream job was just work for Shell Gas.
Yeah,
Endless rushing.
I
In what
will tell you, I will not-
proximity?
Huh?
In what
Huh?
proximity of did he want to work for Shell? Like as a gas station employee, or like someone
Like,
higher up in
like
the company?
in the corporation, like
Oh, okay.
like he got some sort of engineering degree, I believe, and just really wanted to put that to use for Shell.
Among the many gas companies.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. Why would you want to work? Why would your dream job be to work for any gas company? What's going on with you?
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I guess they're one of the few that haven't been constantly in the news about dumping all of their oil in the ocean.
They're probably just more discreet about it. I don't know.
Weren't they the ones from way back when that did? Or that was BP.
That was
I
BP.
think.
That was BP, and then the Exxon Valdez was Exxon Mobil, who also recently just dumped more oil into the ocean.
Yeah,
so,
they were the ones that set the fucking water on fire.
Yes.
Didn't do that.
So they need to just stop being a company.
Yeah, I have a friend who, and obviously this is different than a gas company, but I have a friend whose literal like obsession for working, like her only dream is to work for Disney. It's not to do anything specifically at Disney. It's to work for Disney, which I just think is fucked, personally.
That is beyond fun.
Because this person went to school to be an animator, And basically, once they figured out that it was going to be next to impossible to animate at Disney, they're like, well, I guess I won't animate anymore.
Ah!
Instead of being like, let me animate elsewhere.
Yeah.
Like a tragedy.
It's kind of fucked.
You can animate at DreamWorks, the Burger King of animation studios.
You could animate at literally anywhere. There are like hundreds of amazing animation studios that exist. It's like there's more animation studios now than there ever has been.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I would want to work for Knights of the Round Table or the Light Table.
yeah, they seem awesome.
You guys are awesome.
But yeah, I won't harp on it too much because I feel bad. But like, it's so gross feeling to me. That would be like, I guess, just because composition is different. Like, there's not a whole lot of composition companies, but the closest thing you could get is like Hans Zimmer remote control, and that would be like, if I can't work for remote control, I have no interest in composing ever again. Like, that's
probably weren't a good one to begin with.
Yeah. Also, you're in a plastic tube. You fell into a PVC pipe.
You are in a sewer. It's a weird place to hang out on, I'm just gonna say.
Oh, it's cozy down here. All right, I'm gonna hop out of the chat and get back in and see if that works.
You actually sound better already.
It does this every time.
Go ahead and put up a quest now that we're back.
Okay. Run into the quest room.
Gonna eat a lot of peaches.
My dream job is, of course, to work for Blackwater.
Oh,
Keep on rolling.
Wait, what is Blackwater?
Keep on rolling.
The PMC arms dealer.
Jesus, what?
I was just trying to think of the most detestable thing possible to
Yeah.
roll off of the gas station thing.
I mean, I could absolutely see someone who is into guns enough saying,
Yep.
Yeah, it's strange when someone loves a company's work so much that they want to be a part of it, but also separate their own like talent and value, like from that, like, or I guess can't separate their own value from it. Like, it's very.
Yeah, that is
Very
the thing.
strange.
Oh God.
Like, yeah. If I were, I don't know, like if I were a guitar builder, I'd be like, man, I would really want to work for Taylor, but I wouldn't be like, fuck you, Martin, if they call.
Yeah.
I'd be like, no, I will only work for one company.
Yeah. I will only work for one company, or else I will just be depressed for my entire life because I am not.
And have no money because I refuse to do anything else.
Right.
Right, it's like, it's scary.
Like, I personally find value in the creation of music. So, like, I don't give a shit that it's for some horrible movie that I don't want to watch and will never see. Like, I just composed for a movie, like, it was actually kind of hard to get myself motivated about it because it was just so bad. But I was told to write some really, like, heavy music for it because the performances are so awful that they wanted to, like, cover it up with music. And so, like, I'm proud of the cue that I wrote. It's like, 10 minutes of intense stuff. And
Yeah.
I wrote that, I will never watch footage from that film ever again for the rest of my life. But
Well, and how many movies have there been where like you've watched the movie and you're like, wow, that movie was terrible, but the soundtrack was actually pretty good?
I mean, there's a decent amount.
I feel like that happens a lot.
What I find so funny about working on the films that I work on is if you look up reviews, they're all just so bad. Everyone hates everything about the movies, except they never once talk about the score. Which,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the crowd seeking out bad movies isn't really like thinking of something like Score unless it's like
Right.
miserably bad. But it's like at least I can take solace in knowing that I am not being punched down on, you know.
Yeah, not being lambasted in the comments because you're,
Yeah. I think
James
it's
Newton
fun.
Howard made a living out of writing awesome scores for terrible movies.
Well, terrible, extremely high budget, high production value movies.
That's true. That's true.
And that, to be fair, again, to like all filmmakers in general, like that's something that not a lot of people ever take into account. Is like, why doesn't this $300,000 movie look as good as this $25 million movie? Like,
It's like,
that's the movie they're used to seeing. Of course,
Yeah.
they're gonna think it looks bad or whatever. I don't know. You definitely have to take that kind of stuff with a grain of salt.
yeah, that's
Any
true.
of the movies I have done are actually very, very bad.
Yeah.
I will never, blame someone for thinking they're bad.
Hmm.
I'll do it for you. Just send me some DMs.
What are
and I'll start.
the names of the movies, directors, and actors?
Here we go. All right, let me list them off.
If you could give me their mailing address too.
I've got for your consideration baskets to send to them.
Yeah, people are really like nutting over Belle, the new Mamoru Hosoda movie. And I was like,
Yeah, I saw that thing you sent me.
Yeah, same.
yeah, and like all the reviews, even beyond that, are like this is like his best movie and just an amazingly good time and very emotionally satisfying. And I'm like, huh.
Like, what? The one trailer I saw for it, I was like, oh, this is like Summer Wars again, but with like more furries or something like that.
This is fair. Okay, so what ended up happening? Like the first production art I saw was like, ooh, this looks really cool. And the first trailer I saw was like, this already has the Summer Wars thing happening.
Yeah.
And then the second trailer I saw was like, oh, this is Beauty and the Beast, but Summer Wars?
Yeah, that's the one, because Belle.
Well, now obviously, but like, as soon as I made that association, I'm like, I already don't want to see it.
Yeah.
But apparently it's really, really good. Okay, well,
Sorry, I'm on my way.
Animation, which is why I hate sleep.
yeah. But I did see Mamoru Hosoda had an interview recently that I didn't exactly appreciate. I don't know if you saw, Owen, but
No.
he kind of like not even like thinly veiled dissed Hayao Miyazaki like really hard for his portrayal of women in his films. And I was like, huh.
Of all the Japanese filmmakers you can throw that at,
Yeah, I was going to say, one who is well known for having heavy female representation in his films.
Well, I get, so his argument was, and I do sort of understand it to a degree, but I think Hayao Miyazaki is maybe one of the worst examples to pick. His thought behind it was Hayao Miyazaki has female protagonists all the time, but they're always like these pure, infallible beings of like, innocence and purity or whatever. And that Japanese filmmaking and anime and stuff has this weird value judgment of women as like being pure and untouched and stuff like that. And this is definitely true of like a lot of disgusting anime and everything.
Yeah.
I guess see what he is referring to in terms of Miyazaki's films.
but also like a lot of his young female protagonists are like 12 years old, so like who gives a shit?
Yeah.
They're literal children.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess he's talking about like maybe Nausicaa and Sophie from Howl's Moving, because there's some weird baggage there too. Because Mamoru Hosoda was
originally supposed to direct it.
Howl's Moving Castle, yeah, and he just like quit in the middle, and then Miyazaki had
You
to
guys
take
are
it
going the
over.
wrong damn way.
God
Yeah,
damn.
we are. I was just paying attention to Owen.
Sorry.
Idiot.
Yeah, never. Rule number one: never follow me anywhere in this game.
What did you say, Duncan?
So we're dissecting anime culture. Stop fucking trying to make me Hanakezu.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just a weird pull.
Yeah,
A weird pull to criticize the man who has put women in the forefront. Like, he said something as rude as, like, he thinks he always has women as his protagonists because he doesn't have confidence as a man or something like that. And I'm
okay.
like, what is wrong with you?
Where is this coming from all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Like,
It was a very weird interview to read. I'm like, wow, I've
and
never.
also, I hope he's ready because Miyazaki doesn't mince words when he's pissed at you. So, like,
I mean, he doesn't, but he also doesn't like pick fights either. So
Right,
I don't
that's
know.
true.
Like, the main thing is, like, I feel like people point to him saying, after his son directed fucking Earthsea.
Tales of Earthsea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he said, it was a fine movie. I just don't think Goro is ready for like this step as a director or whatever. Which is like, sure, maybe a little bit rude to say about your son, but also like a common criticism levied against people who are directing their very first movie.
yeah.
Let alone a giant animated feature from like the most prestigious company of those.
And
Right.
one of like the biggest
Same.
sci-fi book franchises of the past like
Yeah.
50 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say Tales of Earthsea is a pretty big thing too. So it's just weird.
Which I also, there's a funny story behind that in general as well, and I don't know if I've recounted it before, but I know I probably just like Miyazaki too much, even though he's such a curmudgeon asshole.
Yeah.
There's this. Apparently, he wanted to make an Earthsea movie for like decades, and he petitioned.
Oh, really?
He petitioned the author of that franchise for decades to make an Earthsea movie, and I don't know. You know, they probably just thought whatever, like this random anime studio, like I don't give a shit. And then in the mid 2000s, after Ghibli had received like enormous international acclaim across the board, that director or that novelist came to Ghibli and was like, "Okay, make my Earthsea movie now." And Miyazaki was like, "Fuck no."
Yeah.
Hi, oh my
producer was
guy.
like, "Jeez, it's just so good. I love it."
I mean, like, that's the kind of shit everyone, like, says they would do, but no one actually does.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when you ask someone for something for a decade, like kindly, and you know you have the ability to do it, and they say no a million times, then like, why would you? I mean, you would gain some resentment over it, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when they finally relent when you're actually successful,
Right.
like,
It could have partially been like, we've already got a bunch of movies on the docket. I don't care enough anymore. Like,
yeah.
as well. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be personal, but I just find that so hilarious.
Yeah.
And
He's
then
like, you know what? My
Yeah.
son can do it instead.
Yeah.
I need to read some Ursula Le Guin.
But Howl's Moving Castle is a very weird one with
Yeah.
that whole thing too. That just a very weird movie. Like, I appreciate it more now than I used to, but I still, as just a film going experience, it is one of my least favorite.
Yeah. Well, it's just narratively, it's like there's a lot happening, but they never really delve into it too much. And
Right.
that's what bugged me about it.
In the book, Howl's Moving Castle, there is no war at all. That is not a thing that happens in it. And I don't know at what point in production of the animated feature they decided there was going to be a giant war aspect of it, but after Miyazaki snubbed the Academy by not going to the Oscars because of the war in Iraq,
Yeah.
when he won for Spirited Away, basically Howl's Moving Castle is entirely about the war in Iraq, actually.
Oh.
Because everyone in a position of power is a corrupt imbecile, and the war doesn't matter and is happening for no reason that anyone can describe. And at the end, they literally just say like, let's just stop it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I always thought that was the shittiest story I had ever heard. And then when I realized it was about the Iraq War, I'm like, okay, this is way better, even if it's not a good movie still.
Yeah, it's a good commentary.
It's kind of a hilarious commentary because it's so, the plot is so bad because of that war thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Just very interesting.
Oh.
And the queen, who is actually in charge of the war instead of the king, is just totally fucking what's his face, vice president.
Oh, Dick Cheney.
Dick Cheney, and the king, who's just a dumbass, and you see him once, and he's like, "Hey, what's up, guys?
Yeah.
Doing that war," is just George Bush. And they don't look like him or anything, but when you actually think about it, that's what they are. But no one really saw that. It's what makes it so interesting to me that Howl's Moving Castle is like one of the most beloved Ghibli movies in America. Like, if not the most popular Ghibli movie in America.
Yeah,
And
it's like insane how many people I asked when I worked at Half Price Books. I'm like, oh yeah, what's your favorite one? They'd be like, Howl's Moving Castle. And I'd be like, oh.
yeah, it's like, oh, the one that ends with the queen deciding not to do a war anymore for no reason, and also the main character just like kisses 15 people and then the movie is over. Like, the ending of that movie is just so dumb.
That sounds like some fucking Evangelion shit.
There's no.
Congratulations,
not
Smooch. Congratulations, Smooch.
It's not even close to that because it's not like pseudo deep at all. It's just like the main character is just like, I'm gonna kiss everyone. It's gonna solve everything, and it does. And then the war's over, and then the movie ends.
Make love, not war, Tim.
So fans of the book pretty much hate the movie, which I honestly understand. Anyway, what are your opinions on Howl's Moving Castle, Duncan Ricci?
Haven't seen it.
Okay.
Yeah, I also haven't seen it.
How have you not seen it, Chris?
I don't know.
How did you not see it when I gave you all of my Ghibli movies to see?
I just didn't watch that one, I guess. I watched Castle in the Sky. I watched, the rest of them. No, I watched Castle in the Sky, and then I watched, I think, Spirited Away, and then Nausicaa, and then Porco Rosso?
That sounds right. I think we watched Spirited Away as a group.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what his next movie is going to be like. Obviously, I will see it. Maybe it will come out before he dies. We'll see.
Hopefully.
Maybe it's his
supposed to come out in 2022, I think, right?
No, I don't think there's any supposed to come out for this movie.
I think it's
I thought it had like a timetable, but maybe that was a different movie.
It has the energy of it will come out next year for the past 10 years.
Not like 10 years, but already for like 3 years. And the producer, Suzuki, has literally just been like, listen, we're just letting Miyazaki make a movie, and I don't care how long it takes or how much money it makes. And they're like, okay. And everyone has to deal with that.
Apparently it'll be 125 minutes long.
That's pretty long.
Pretty precise.
Yeah, it's 2 hours.
That's not as long as like Mononoke, I don't think. Or I think Wind Rises is now the longest one.
Is Mononoke 2 hours?
I think so. It's really freaking long. It was the longest one until Wind Rises. No.
Oh yeah, it's 133 minutes. So okay. Is what's it called? Is Disappearance still the longest animated movie of all time?
I thought something recently took that title.
Like an anime or what?
Yeah, I feel like it did.
Doing buddy bargaining, but then I'll look it up.
Oh, okay. No, yeah. So at the time of its release, it was 162 minutes, and it was the second longest animated film, surpassed by, or the only one that's longer is Final Yamato, which was like an 83 space movie. By 1 minute.
Oh.
Good for Final Yamato.
Yeah.
Is that one of those weird battleship space movies?
Yeah. All made by the same guy.
Yeah. Is that like the
Who
Captain
did-
Harlock guy, or?
Yeah, it's like that same dude who did the Daft Punk Interstellar 555,
Yeah.
where everyone's weirdly thin.
And has like pointy noses and tall heads.
Yeah.